Good here. Now, I'm going to talk to you about something that is very, very, very valuable. What we're talking about is on the subject of self-mastery, and also something that was what could actually be classified as one of the first commandments in the Holy Law, and it is absolutely imperative in life. And it has a lot to do with having mastery and having responsible, legitimate, divinely commanded and ordained, divinely guided and determined sovereign authority and rulership over yourself and your life and all of life to a certain degree, right? We're talking about the subject of self-mastery, and it's actually written of in the Holy Law, interestingly enough. Here it is. So we are in the Holy Bible here, the Holy Torah, in the book of Genesis, Bereshit, in the beginning, first book of Moses, right? And in chapter 1, verse 29, there's a verse here that could actually almost be classified as, it's actually a blessing and it's an instruction also. It's like one of the first big blessings and the biggest one, and an instruction too. And it says, it's Genesis 1 and 26, basically, and it says something like, and God said, make us make man in our image and after our own likeness, and they shall rule over the fish of the ocean and over the birds of the sky and over the animals and over all of the earth and over everything wormy, or all worms and everything that, moves on earth. And God created man in his image and after his own likeness. In God's image created he him, male and female created he him. And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and rule over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the sky and over all animals that move on the earth. Okay? So that was like Genesis 1:26 through 29, basically. Now, another key point here, self-mastery, right, is basically the ability to master your life and your destiny and have it be a good one, divinely commanded and ordained, and not to live in fear or be unnecessarily subject to any of the foolish folly or unnecessary sort of almost like unenlightened states of existence that can happen within the human experience. In other words, you're the master of your life and your destiny with due respect to the Most High, who is the Almighty God and the master of the universe, right? And your life is good. You're healthy, wealthy, blessed. You live a very good life, and you have a very good future because you live wisely and responsibly, and you make your life good, and you accomplish the highest good for yourself and for others, and even, achieving God's overall master plan, right? And you're highly blessed, and just life is beautiful. It's really good, okay? Now, there's something that's actually very important. And see, this includes the ability to have a rightful, divinely ordained and commanded, almost like an executive authority over what happens in your life and how you act, how you live, and how the interactions that you have with other people in personal life, private life, and in business life also go. Now, some people, and look, there's a term out there that is called manipulation. Now, there's basically a positive type of manipulation and a negative type. It's like I can exercise divine authority and wisely, speak to somebody and get them to basically agree with me and to cooperate with me, right? If it's in accordance with God's will and it's wise and it's legitimate, then what happens is that's the best thing that can happen for you and for everybody, right? So there's a righteous type of manipulation, yet above that, and initially there is mastery, divinely commanded and ordained in accordance with God's will, that is actually good and that we are supposed to have. And that is higher and different from even legitimate manipulation to make things work in life for the highest good for yourself and for others. Like, that's another level above manipulation. It's like divine authority and having blessings, having wisdom, and being able to determine your destiny and to determine what happens in your life and how things go, right? So that's like mastery. And that's above manipulation. It includes the ability to be able to manipulate, either positively or negatively, and always responsibly though. But it's above that. And this is something that we have to have as human beings, because that way we can really live a good life where we're always healthy, wealthy, secure, we're winning, and things are very good for us and for everybody, even for our neighbors. So it's a level above manipulation, because someone's might think, if I say, look, I can manipulate others into agreeing with me and cooperating with me. I mean, everybody does that all the time, whether great or small. Yet this is different. This is like being able to determine what happens in your life and in your interactions with others responsibly. And that is a good thing, because that way you can make things happen according to God's will for yourself. So you're blessed, and so others are blessed too. It's actually highly important. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Because I discovered this recently while I was calculating an operational strategy, right, to carry out. And I realized that what I am doing is actually legitimate. And I can manipulate in a way that is in accordance with God's will, and it's responsible, and that actually is good. And it's better you do that, right? So in other words, it's that you act as it's divinely commanded and it's wise. And by doing that, you actually accomplish good things. So manipulation, though, is more powerful and important than, and it includes the ability to manipulate. If I say manipulate, though, it's responsible manipulation. So it's like, okay, how do I explain this? Okay, you're talking to somebody, they say, you know what, I'm going to go paragliding tomorrow. And they're totally determined to do this, right? But the weather is dangerous. And you're like, hey, listen, that's a great idea. Listen, there's a storm coming, my friend. You really shouldn't do this because there's real danger because of the weather. Like, don't do that tomorrow. Go on another day and you'll be safe. Like, it's dangerous, right? Or, don't go hiking in the mountains because there's a storm coming and the helicopter can't rescue you when it's like hazy because of that storm. And they're like, no, we got to go hiking today. We got to go. And you're like, listen, guys, there's weather danger. There's dangerous weather. You could have you should not go. It's highly recommended by experts, mountaineers, by the local authorities, whatever, that you wait till a better day when the weather is good and you don't go out there because you're risking your life, right? So, okay, so then I talk to these guys and I legitimately manipulate them into making a wise decision that's reasonable and that leads to the best for themselves and for everybody around them, right? That could be classified as legit manipulation. But it's actually caring for others. Now, when we hear the word manipulation, and I still think too, when I hear it, I think, should I do that or should I not? But there's a responsible manipulation that's for the best, for yourself and for others. It's It's actually, so that's that thing with manipulation. That's like here. And mastery is above all that. So mastery includes the ability to have mastery over what happens and to make things happen a certain way that's the best for yourself, first of all, and for everybody else too. That is mastery, and that's commanded. Okay? So keep that in mind, because now what you can do is you can exercise mastery with wisdom and divine authority safely and responsibly, right? To quote unquote manipulate what happens in your life and in what happens to other people in your life in a good way that's responsible, that's totally legit. And even because of it being what God commands and it's legitimate, right? Like thou shalt not kill, right? Thou shalt not steal, etc., etc. All these things from the 10 words, the 10 commandments, right? The Holy Bible, the Holy Law, they even provide the foundation for most of common law. And if you live that way in a godly way, you'll even be legitimate and you'll be good to go in everyday life too. So there's a legitimate mastery that we have. It's a blessing. We should exercise that responsibly. And it includes the ability to quote unquote positively manipulate what happens with ourselves and with others so that it's good with us and that it's blessed and you're good, you're legal, you're legit, you're good to go, right? It's a great thing. Okay.